Hey guys, we're live now. We got an amazing guest with us today. One of my favorite people from the conference, and just an all-around awesome dude. We have Rion DeRouen of Team Light. He always has a positive attitude and a positive outlook towards life. I'm gonna play the intro and then I'm gonna read his bio and we'll get started. So, you guys know I always have issues with the intro. So, Good. That was pretty seamless today. Okay. And then, I always just hit this subscribe button, guys. Whether this is really important, guys, whether you're watching on YouTube or you're watching on Rumble, and we're really trying to build our presence on Rumble because remember, Rumble's free speech, and, it's Typical Skeptic Podcast on Rumble, and on YouTube, it's at TruthSeeker5197. And, just remember to hit the notification bell. Remember to subscribe, and remember to like the video on here and on Rumble. And if you're watching on one of Rion's channels, do the same, and because it's great to support. And today I have with me the amazing Rion DeRouen. And today we're going to be getting into the great transition and the coming blood moon eclipse. We're going to be talking about the current energies and what we're all dealing with. We're also going to be talking about his event that he has coming up. And I wrote a little blurb about it. I wrote, today on the Typical Skeptic Podcast, I welcome Rion DeRouen, founder of Team Light and creator of Unite the Collective. Rion is a spiritual visionary, gridworker, and multidimensional teacher dedicated to guiding humanity through the great transition, the energetic shift that is reshaping the world before our very eyes. In this episode, we'll explore the September 8th, 7th, and 8th, 2025 total lunar eclipse, the blood moon, and its global energetic impact. How these cosmic alignments affect humanity's collective consciousness, tools for navigating energetic shifts and anchoring light during turbulent times, and his role of Team Light in preparing for the next phase of spiritual evolution. And you can connect with Rion at his website, which is teamlight.com, and he has a store and events at teamlightstore.com. He has a documentary on Amazon Prime called The Cosmic Surfer. And he has a Rumble channel, which is Spiritual Evolution Team Light. And then you can also connect with him on Instagram at Team Light Guardians. So we're just waiting on Rion to come in. And wow, the comment section is really popping today. So maybe we'll read through some comments and we'll get to some of your comments. Nice to see everybody. Thanks for everybody for coming in today. And I hope everybody's doing well. I hope you're all having a good day. And everybody's navigating the energies well. And Anchor Haven says Rion is so much fun. Yeah, he is. He's an awesome guy. I feel lucky. I got to see him speak twice. I got to see him speak last year at the Full Disclosure Now conference, and his presentation was amazing. And that's what made me want to have him on the show. And then I had him on last year for the first time, and then the second time, is now. Or maybe I think I had him on 2 times actually, and then I got to see him speak this year at the Full Disclosure Now conference, where he spoke with Tone Mallard, and that was an amazing conversation as well. So here he is, guys, and we're gonna bring him to the stage. And hey, what's up, dude? How are you?
What's up, ladies and gentlemen across planet Earth? How you guys doing out there? My brother said, "Hey, man, we gotta do a little interview here and talk about this crazy blood moon energy we're walking into, and kind of explain some of the different faculties that are going on the surface on Earth." So I said, absolutely, let's get it, bruh. So
Yeah.
How you guys doing out there?
Yeah, good to see you, man. How are you?
You know what? I actually switched up my routine today. I went to the gym early in the morning. I know a lot of you guys are taking naps, and I'm noticing that taking health and wellness is so important right now that if you're feeling so inclined to maybe switch up your schedule, take advantage of that. If your body's telling you, hey, I know you usually work out at this time, or I know you usually eat or sleep at this time, and for whatever reason your body's telling you something different, listen to your body. Your body's trying to tell you that we're going through a huge energy shift on this planet. 3I Atlas, I'm sure you guys know what it stands for, but it's the third interstellar object ever recorded in human existence. That's why they call it 3I Atlas. That's coming in hot from our galactic center, and it's going to beeline. It's going to go right past us. It's going to bank in October 16th. Its current miles per hour inbound, it was 130 miles per hour. Now it's about 140,000 miles per hour. You guys can take a look at that. It might have changed and sped up, but it's going to get close enough to us. The closest it's going to get is October 16th. And like I said, that trajectory is changing daily. This is not an asteroid, and it's not a meteor. They're not seeing a tail come off this thing. Rather, it looks like it's controlled. Like, you know what I mean? Like, usually...
I had Carrie Cassidy. I just want to get your opinion on this. I had Carrie Cassidy. You know, she's a legend. And her and David Sarita have been looking into this thing, and they think it could possibly be an Anunnaki ship. But like everybody has like different opinions. Like I'm having Mark D'Antonio on tonight, and he's like more like mainstream, and he's like a scientist, and he believes it could be a comet. So like, you know me, I try to stay neutral. You know, I just like to get
I like to say it like this, and I think that, you know, everyone's going to try to, you know, hit this nail, right, and try to get this target accurate. This is what I like to say. In the physical plane of existence, we have a certain bandwidth of energy or light that we can actually process through our 3D biological eyeballs. And that spectrum of light is, say, this big compared to the true focal length of the universe. Okay, we're seeing through this much. So that's what's capable for a human eyeball. Now, our instruments and the different coatings on the Hubble and the new the James Webb telescope that's out there pointing at these stars and monitoring these things, they have a polarization layers that are about, I would say, the Hubble had about 7 different layers of polarization or coatings on the lens to see certain things, different spectrums of light. The Hubble even more. I mean, sorry, the new one, the James Webb, even more. Okay. So what I'm getting to is how much of this information do they already know? And what I'm getting a lot is that, you know, the crossover from the military industrial complex. You have, for example, the hierarchy. You got our space brothers and sisters in the Galactic Fed, right? And I would say I like to call it Earth Alliance because there's been a lot of like back and forth with these guys are fraudulent. This is a takeover. I just like Earth Alliance. I keep it really simple, meaning that if you're here to help planet Earth free itself, raise your hand. Okay, are you here? That's all it is. Like, I don't care what label you put on this. So I like Earth Alliance, and I kind of coined that term quite some time ago. A lot of people use it, Earth Alliance. And then, you know, coming on down to the military industrial complex, and you got to the Noffen Waffen, the Noffen Choffen, you know. Hoffentoffens out there, and the guys that ran away to Antarctica and did some treaties with some scaly friends, you know, back in the 40s. So what I'm getting to, whatever this is coming in has nothing to do with the hierarchy of our solar system or this particular planet. And I think that's what may have a lot of agencies and different even groups around this solar system a little nervous. These are like out-of-towners coming through to spot check what's going on here in our local group being all the local stars you can see in the sky. And that's coming on through here to our solar system, Sol, right? And then coming on down here and doing a spot check. So I think in the third density or third dimension, it may look like a rock. I don't think it's a comet. They say there's no tail on it. If you can spot a tail on it, all comets are, you know, have a tail, right? Asteroids don't particularly need a tail on there, but how is it creating thrust and how's it driving? So these are just some questions I have. You know, I'm not going to pretend to have all the answers. All I'm trying to say is that I think in the third density, it looks like a certain shape. If it's 15 miles by 7 miles, so imagine it's 15 miles long by 7 miles across, right? Well, is it really 7 by 14? And what does that look like? I think it looks like a diamond. I think it's 14 by 7. I think it's a big diamond. And they don't know what's going to happen, so they don't want to let the civilian population know what this really is. And if they're doing it, they're trying to get behind this with their own narrative or motivation to try to either gain more control on the planet or, you know, either get people in a hysteria or fear or try to piggyback it with, you know, as this thing comes in with Project Bluebeam and all the bullshit and all the money they spent, trillions of dollars in these underground military bases with ET craft that are actually human made. Okay.
Yeah.
And who's to say they can't do a Project Bluebeam on the Oconosphere and have real drones shooting shit? What I'm trying to say is I don't know what the MO of, you know, the object coming in may have a completely different interpretation of reality than how the controlling factions on this planet are going to use that information. Does that make sense? This thing's coming in regardless. Whatever stories they're telling themselves to try to get ahead of this thing, I just hope that, truly from my heart, that if you are a species that's obviously interstellar, you're not landlocked anymore. Let's just say you've graduated. I just hope that there's some sort of dignity and awareness that comes with that. And I believe that many of us on this planet who have different DNA sequences of interstellar beings, many of us here in the comments, mind you, and that are watching my face right now live from here to South Africa. What I'm trying to say is that dealing with my own personal Anunnaki, not in some story or a tale, but having the last 15 years waking up in this suit, dealing with different multidimensional aspects of myself, knowing where they come from, knowing what their job is, knowing what their favorite color is, knowing why they always wear that same damn outfit, wondering why their friends may have more or less, bling bling on the collar. I call it out. I'm like, you didn't get the gold trim on the collar? You're like, oh no, I'm not a commander. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I'm just kidding. So, it depends what level your third eye's on. You know what I mean? Some people have been awake for 15, 20, 30, 40 years going, yo, homies, check it out. You're late. And then there's people just waking up now like, oh my God, I can't believe it. We're not alone in the universe. I don't know. I wasn't raised in Walmart, dude. I don't know. I'm not brainwashed, bro. I've been sitting at this shit show for 40 years going, yeah, let's go and wrap it up. These people are jackasses. Get them out of the way. So, really. I don't have that fear. I've already seen too much. Third Eye's been on for 15 years. I got 15 years of receipts. I'm sitting here going, we want peace, abundance, sovereignty, and compassion on this planet. Can we have that? It's that simple. That's all I'm talking about. So
and we can manifest things into our reality too, right? So like whatever this is, if people manifest it in negatively, it could come in negatively. But if we look at it positively, do you think that has our will has something to do with it as well?
Well, check this out, bro. What if the people that are being the most naughty, that know that an elder version of their higher selves are showing up to do a spot check on this planet? Who's the one who's really worried about them showing up? Shouldn't be us.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. I didn't control different governments or factions. I don't do weird things to, innocent beings. Who's really scared that there's a higher ordinance coming? I don't think the civilian population should worry at all.
Yeah.
At all whatsoever. I think they're coming for the jackasses, let's just say, that have been doing and taking advantage of the innocence of this planet for 1,000+ years. Put that in a postcard and stick it on your fridge, dude. Boom. How about them apples? How about that narrative? How about technology that comes through that's 100,000 to 1,000,000 years in the future that can zoom into the earth and see these guys like tic-tac ants sitting in the ground that can just go right through dimensions, no matter what sort of coating they put on the walls, the interior of the dumb spaces, or what materials they use, and go, yeah, you guys, listen, we gave you a shot at running this thing. You ran it into the ground. The entire population's over it. You tried to kill half the population over the last 5 years. Okay? Straight up. Try to whack half the planet. And you guys still don't know how to, like, even with all this time, let's be honest, all these resources and all this time, all I've seen on this planet is a misallocation of resources, the wrong people in charge, the wrong bloodlines in charge. No one is a true leader. They're all parasitical. And I don't care what family you're in. Even if you're the ones hiding in the dragon families, hiding in the ground with grandma and grandpa is fucking 1,000 years old. I don't care. What I'm seeing is on the surface, if I was a commanding officer in the flesh staring at this game, I have a lot of questions. And I don't think the beings hopefully coming in, they're going to ask beings like us and you guys out there in these comments, hey, so what did you experience down there? What seems to be the problem? Okay, so I think that a lot of this fear program is being pushed through a narrative because they want us all to be all, in that state, let's just say, because you're way more easily controlled when you're in a state of fear. I'm not in a state of fear. I'm rather going like, yo, I can't wait to turn in my homework assignment. Nice to meet you, sir. And a lot of us have these ET souls in these suits, and we're done playing human. Okay, I love my suit. It's absolutely fantastic. Do I think my soul's only 200,000 years old? Absolutely not. Not even close. I've taken naps that lasted longer than 200,000 years. So I got to be real. Like, how old is that eternal soul inside your chest? And is it waking up? Everyone says things like, oh, we're eternal. Do you have any idea what that means? Oh, we're from the creator, right? The creator of what? This universe, this planet? Are you billions of years old? Who created you? What is this whole lifespan? I mean, 80 years, 120 years in a suit is like this compared to eternity. So what I'm trying to say is, in this game that we're learning, we're supposed to learn how to love one another. We're supposed to learn how to come together. We're supposed to learn to choose the organic way of existence, love, peace, prosperity, and working together with the planet that you were born on, your true mother, and be true stewards to the planets, the animals, the fauna, the waters. We were supposed to be in charge of that. I think I'm going to have a very different conversation if you have upper dimensional beings stepping down into this reality and they go, what happened to the surface of the planet? Almost like mom and dad show up. I'm going to go, well, I don't know why they're dumping plastic in the ocean, sir. I don't know why we listen to Rockefeller or anyone in that family. I know that the Rothschilds were just accountants for the Pacer family, but we also have the Cullens and a bunch of other weirdos in the United States. I don't know who put them in charge. These are basically the robber barons after Tartaria fell. These are the weirdos that kept the truth and buried the rest for all the civilian population, created Cabbage Patch trains, put all the adults that remembered in asylums in action. I don't know. 1913 never should have happened. Jekyll Island, we're on you like white on rice. This whole thing's being reversed now. So if you're going to have a upper dimensional conversation about what is really going on, you got to know what's happened on the surface of this planet. And you know what I mean? How we got here. Does that make sense? I'm not even pointing fingers. You have to have, everyone's got to do a deep dive in, how did we get here right now? And what does that look like? And how do I explain that to someone if I got upper brass showing up from the galactic center? Human things kind of moving to the side. My soul's starting to speak. What did you experience on this earth? Right? Why is the Vatican, who gave the Vatican the right to hide the entire world's library of knowledge in their basement that's 8 miles long, 15 miles long? Who gave them that right? Raise your hand. I don't know. So there's a lot of weird things on this earth. Why does the Smithsonian show up every time you find giant bones? Who pays for the Smithsonian? And I'm watching guys on Gaia going, the Smithsonian shows up and takes your bones. And the one guy they're interviewing says, but I really like the Smithsonian museums. Like, bro, pick a side, guy. Like, this back and forth shit, I can't take it. I'm gonna be honest with you. The truth is gonna come out. You can either tear that Band-Aid off now and clean this cut that we've all been wearing for 1,000 years, right? And put some peroxide on it, let it heal. But I'm telling you, one way or the other, that bandage is coming off. And that bandage is kind of like the unconsciousness of this earth. We're all going to wake up very, very quickly. It's happening right now all over the earth. I'm just trying to say, for some of you guys that have been awake for a while, I've got a lot of questions on who put these beings in charge. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of free will violations. I got so many free will violations that I'm reporting on all of these things that I've experienced down here. Oh my goodness gracious. The amount of free will violations that I've experienced in this 40 plus years, insane. So I'm just trying to say, like, that's how I work with my higher selves. I observe everything going on in the physical that I can, obviously, right? I'm just a messenger down here, just like you guys. What I'm trying to say is that we each have a role and responsibility to calling things out so our brothers and sisters don't get hoodwinked into some bullshit. And if you do know the truth, or you do have a free thinking mind, process it, think about it, and share your opinion. You know what I mean? That's all we're saying. Like, Robert, that's why, that's why I enjoyed doing your show, because you don't have a dog in this fight. You're just like, hey man, I want to know the truth and I want to share the truth. And I'm like, cool, let's get it. So I think more people need to be like that. Does that make sense? I want to know why, why is DC shut down right now? Why did they find 30 feet of infrastructure underneath the White House? Who originally built the sewer system underneath San Francisco? That's 300 feet down and the ceiling's 30 feet high. Why isn't there an underground military submarine entry underneath San Francisco where they ride the rivers underneath the continental United States to different points under the United States. Why doesn't everyone know this? You get to a place where I'm sitting there like, yo, I've already processed a lot of this stuff. And I'm sitting here going like, okay, knowing all that's cool, but how do we utilize the knowledge and data that we get from one another and the real R&D research, right? Testimonies and whatnot. I mean, the fact that Bush Senior's financial analyst said that they took $21 trillion and built an entire underground city and civilization. And they took $21 trillion in tax of our people's tax dollars. I don't even know how much inflation that causes, right? To build all this infrastructure. And I haven't heard one American say, I've seen it, I have access to it. I don't get it, dude. Either there's a lot of cowards out there that work at these. You don't think there's people that work at these bases or work in these cities? What about the guy that worked at Starbucks that was underneath the 405 freeway on that private freeway underneath California? I mean, underneath the highway system. He worked at a Starbucks at a coffee shop on a private highway underneath the ground in Los Angeles. And his NDA finally came up 5 years later and he could talk about it. So I'm just trying to say, we got to open this box. It's not just about ETs or this. What's happening under your feet right here? What's going on right here? So I think that's more important. A lot of people want to push this stuff up. All the Arcturians, the Andromedans. Yeah, I love all that, guys. They're going to ask you what's going on here because we're here, right? We're not on a starship, and coming in from Arcturus, maybe a dimensional aspect. But if you have those aspects showing up here to Earth, they're going to go, guys, what's been going on here? What do you need help with? We need to at least know what needs to be balanced. Does that make sense? You got to at least know what the laundry list is that we need to fix. That's all I'm trying to say. So.
Yeah, dude, I find Inner Earth fascinating. Like, I'll just say real quick before we get anything else. I've had Gene Decode on, and he talks about that there's actually maglev trains, they call them, that connect, and then there's whole cities underground, and then if you go back to some of the Native Americans that used to come on Art Bell back in the day, he said that this Native American guy was saying that there's whole bodies of water under there, that there's rivers and lakes, and then you hear stories that there's alien beings underground and that they have whole civilizations under there. So sometimes I try to imagine in my mind what exactly it's like under there and what is going on. To me, it's so fascinating. To me, what's underneath us is more fascinating than what's out in space, and a lot of they're saying that there's ET species here that have been here longer than the humans on this planet, that are in the deepest parts of the oceans. And they've always been here. There's ancient beings here right now in the deepest parts of the oceans. We know more about space than we know about the bottom of the ocean. It's kind of crazy, right? So this whole thing has been a psyop for all of us in this unconscious land. And I'm just trying to say, once you kind of reach to the surface of this gumbo and you crawl out of the crock pot and you look down and you realize that the people that are here, instead of working on themselves, this is called the dark hats, the night beings, the Illuminati, Chati, whatever, Pati, jackasses. I don't mean it's a joke when you actually see how small they are. The thing is that they were supposed to assist and work on their own evolution and ascension. Instead, they became the jailers of the prison. They thought, if we can't ascend, then we might as well take advantage of everyone in this level of reality. And instead of being the true stewards, it took advantage of everything. And now here's the thing about the energy too. I'm kind of going beyond what suit you're wearing. I don't care if you're a reptilian, a draconian. There's a lot of weird different species rocking around down here. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what's the energy that's inside of that suit that's parasitic that makes it feed off other life forms. It's even deeper than what suit you're wearing, ladies and gentlemen, and eventually you're going to get it. It doesn't, that sort of parasitic dark energy doesn't care what suit it's coming through. A human suit, a Venusian suit, a Palladian suit, whatever that vessel is or membrane you're wearing, what we're trying to, mitigate and obviously clean up is that parasitic energy that feeds off all life, right? That true, that antimatter shit. That's what they call it, the Antichrist, antimatter. The things that just feed off our Christ energy or, the light.
Okay, it's different than being light and dark. There's something even darker than dark. Okay, there's something that no one talks about. There's stuff that feeds off the light and the dark, and it is the complete embodiment of that parasitic function. That is what needs to be addressed here as fast as humanly possible. It's almost like the nothingness in the never-ending story. It's like the deepest level of unconsciousness that you can imagine. And I think if we all kind of saw the principalities of what we're really dealing with down here, I think a lot of these surface wars would end like this. Yeah. We still have yet to see who the true combatant is. They keep hiding this energy behind different people's faces, different world leaders' faces. Some of us are here to clean up that energy. And it damn well knows that's the shit they hear about in storybooks that was locked up downstairs. Or, you know what I mean? Where Archangel Michael comes down. It's not a name. It's almost like something, dude, this is the weirdest thing about the darkest energy here that's parasitic. It's almost like I remember some sort of a story that it was like almost a weapon that was created by the losing side of that conflict, or it could have been the winning side. I'm not sure, but it was like Atlantean, pre-Atlantean type. Like it was like a war thing that was created artificially. Like it was created. Like they talk about, have you ever seen like the movie Alien or the movie Coven where they have like that black goo stuff? You know what I mean? What I'm trying to say is like this stuff that's in here, that's on this planet, it's almost like leftover war materials from different interstellar civilizations that were highly advanced, that were going toe to toe and warring with one another. And the fallout of whatever that was left here is we're still having to deal with and clean up. And it's something far deeper than any sort of like baby story they feed us humans down here. And I'm just trying to say that I think that people need to start taking a look at their history books a little bit more. But here's the thing. It's not in the history books. It's like there's a wipe. Like what happened before 12,000 years ago? All we have is like, Atlantean civilization is about 12.5. 12. Everyone's like, it's 12.5. And then it just disappeared. It sank. And they're like, well, what happened before it sank? And is all we have is the Emerald Tablets of Thoth to tell us what happened? One interpretation of story? Really? Nah, dude, this whole thing's a cover-up. This whole thing, I'm just giving you guys a heads up and I'm warming you up to this. We have contact in the next 3 to 5 years. Let's just say, whatever that may be. It's just a matter of time before they take one of, like I said, some of us are literally hybrids or have, let's just call it angelic or Palladian or ET DNA, okay, in the 5D construct. It's just a matter of time before ETs show us our true history and what really happened down here. It's just a matter of time, Rob. We're going to know what happened. People think that they keep pushing this thing off. We're never going to know. Oh, yes, they can't wait to tell you how much we've been lied to. They can't wait to tell you who took over the planet. They can't wait to tell you all this stuff about these jackasses, these draconian Sakar, and all these weird harvester species that also can't graduate 3rd grade, which is highly embarrassing, by the way, but are still floating around down here. So, I mean, this object coming in, I hope it sends out some modulating frequencies to help assist and balance this part of the solar system. I hope that frequency harmonizes some of the crazy stuff that we've all experienced. But here's the thing, too. Maybe you have to be at a certain level of awareness to even feel the object approaching or have any connection to it. If you're completely unconscious and offline, it's going to look like a rock's going by on CNN. You know what I mean? You might not have any connection to it. Does that make sense? You have to be at a certain level, and that dormant DNA has to be activated for you to even be aware of it. So that's all my vibe is. Like I said, we'll find out what it is, right? We're going to find out what it is, or at least have a better understanding as it gets closer. But on the bigger picture, I want everyone out there who has been studying. I know some of the people that watch me and watch you, they are my conspiracy theory brothers and sisters. We might as well call it, forget conspiracy, truthers out there. What I'm trying to say, everyone needs to have their head on a swivel and really start compiling the data necessary to actually make proper course corrections for the surface of planet Earth. Because what we're seeing is an old game playing out. Well, people just need to start realizing who are the new leaders of the golden age. And maybe you. So that's all I'd like to say about that.
Yeah. Before we go any further, I want to get into the energies and I want to get into like the great transition and the blood eclipse. But before we do that, like now that we have a big audience, like a lot of your audience showed up. So thank you guys for showing up. And,
Yeah.
that makes it good for both streams. I want to talk about your event because that's important, right? Like, and
Mhm.
it looks like it's going to be really awesome. It's called the
Yes.
Bridge, right?
The Bridge Expo is in Dallas, October 17th through the 19th. Anyone who wants to check it out, go to teamlightstore.com. It's right there underneath. Oh, it's right next to my name. That's going to take you over our Shopify page. Click on events. And yeah, there's a day pass. There's the full Friday, Saturday, Sunday weekend pass. There's a coupon, I believe, for $55 off Day of Being, thanks to our brother, Mr. Zachary Fisher. And them, David Being. You were out there at Full Disclosure Now, Rob, out in Tampa. That was a lot of fun hanging out with you.
Yeah, it was.
We have David Palmer and my other brother, Alexander Del Sol, coming in to DJ. We have, Bill Homan, the Mitchell Hedges Skull is going to be there. He's doing a private sessions as well. Masadi, he's an amazing healer. He's going to be there. And then we also have new products. We also have, the GOAT, right? Russell J. Gould, the Chief Gould, is going to be there. He's talking about syntax and a bunch of stuff. And then we have and what he's doing, which is big right now. He's in Australia, so I'm excited to see him there. And his brother William. And then I don't even know how many speakers. There's a ton of speakers. We have David Palmer is going to be there. We have Robert Phoenix is going to be there. They're going to handle all the astrology. And I can't wait till you guys see David Palmer's 3D. He has this whole thing 3D programmed out that I saw at his studio where he actually tracks Atlas coming in. So that's how I know it's heading towards Sirius. I already saw it on a huge, multiple screen layout that he has with this software, which is very nice. Obviously, Sheila Nees, Barbara Hudak, myself, Shauna Ava, Dr. Sandra. She's fantastic. She's going to be hosting a panel. I will also be hosting a panel. My brother Zachary Fisher and the New Golden Age. And obviously Dr. Lee. You guys might have seen Samuel Lee, his Instagram, Dr. Samuel Lee. He's fantastic. And he's really about the 12D, the Christed consciousness. I'm all about the Christed consciousness. I love everything Christ did. I wish, you know what I mean? It's just give me some of that Christos. I'm kind of getting to a space in my life, man, where I just want to hang out with people that are high vibe, their hearts are on. I want to teach and learn from you guys. I also want to show you some of the crazy stuff I'm making and creating, from plasma generators to new PEMF devices to how to oscillate a building to different. I'm working with a contractor right now. We're going to be making some new devices for new builds in Florida. I just want to share with you guys and hang out. But the Bridge Expo is going to be really special, because there's going to be a lot of people there and very gifted people and a lot of really cool people in the audience, wink, wink, who are going to be there who may help facilitate what some of you guys want to create or build. You know what I mean? There's going to be people that have the resources to assist. So I just wanted to create a cool space for you guys to come hang out, meet your brothers and sisters. You guys have your own adventures. There's a Galaxy Ball. You guys get to get dressed up Saturday night. I had to rent a damn cargo van just to get all your speakers out to Dallas, mind you. I don't know why I did it, Rob. I don't know. I bought that damn SRX JBL dual 18 woofers. I didn't know it was 200 pounds. I bought this thing.
Shit, man, that's a big speaker. That's where we're going to bang.
That's just the woofer. No, this guy delivers it. I go, what is that? And he goes, I don't know. It's JBL. And he rolls it in the garage. And I'm sitting there going, how am I getting this thing from Sedona to Dallas? So what I'm getting to is all the financial stuff we get. I just like turning it right back in over to you guys. I like getting the bigger spaces. I like inviting all these cool vendors. We have so many cool vendors that are going to be there and the speakers. So I just want you guys to know, like, for me, this is a love thing. Big shout out to David and Jaden and the whole crew, Brian, and all those guys. There's also something going on where I really just feel this is a Marvel, like Avengers meetup. I just feel like the right minds, the right singularities, the right energy signatures together to uplift one another. And then I'm just literally, creating spaces where we can shine that light. I know Dallas needs our light, ladies and gentlemen. Let me explain why. For the first time in the history of the United States, Texas, Dallas actually is going to have its own stock exchange. So it's going to move some of that power and principalities out of New York, where it's been for a very long time, Wall Street. So the new Dallas Stock Exchange opens 2026. I was told by upper echelon, you guys need to move some of that golden energy through that city, and you guys need to bump shoulders with people that actually need to be awakened to what the future of humanity is actually going to look like, not what they're being hypnotized about what it's going to look like, staring at 44 hertz on a television screen. But the true nature of the universe is about to show up. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, dude, I was going to say a lot of people are moving to Texas. Like a lot of people are feeling called. Like like Matthew Morning, who was at the conference, he just moved to Texas. I know Lauren Pritchard, like she lives in Texas. Like just like I'm thinking of people that were at the conference. Like a lot of people are feeling called to move there for some reason.
Well, Texas was one of the places that still has freedom, dude. I mean, let's just be, sovereignty and fearless. And look, every state has its own thing. We all know that the property tax being removed in Florida and now Texas. One of the scams that took place, ladies and gentlemen, was BlackRock, Vanguard, and some of these different groups, supposedly, since we're on YouTube, did some deal where they wanted to overvalue in Zillow, overvalue everyone's house. Everyone thinks their house is worth twice of what it is. Then they come in with the property taxes. Now your house is twice as valued at twice as much, so you pay twice as much property tax. And it's another way that they could steal from you for 30 years. You're now, instead of paying $1,800 a year in property tax, you're paying like $5,000 or whatever that may be. The bigger the house, a lot more than that. So removing property tax is very important for everyone in the States, 100%. There were some schemes and some deals, and how, in Sedona specifically, I have like one neighbor out of 20 houses around me. They're all Airbnbs, or they're owned by three. I don't even know who they're owned by. It's very strange. So what I'm getting to, I know a lot of you guys that live in really cool places, the same thing. And I'm not against people having their own Airbnbs that are, live in town, or maybe they have one Airbnb, whatever. But when you have we had corporations come in and purchase every single rental house in Sedona. There are none. So it's very strange. It was like companies and corporations were buying these homes and overpaying them by 30%. So there was a larger scheme, and I know you guys in the comments all know this, but it's also very frustrating for a lot of really good, hardworking people that don't want to be a part of the debt system, that actually do want to work hard and have their money worth what it's supposed to be worth. When you have jackasses just inflating the value of U.S. currency to a degree, with, just like Voltaire said, all fiat currency will intrinsically return to its inherent value, which is zero. So they've done fiat currency before, ladies and gentlemen. So I think everyone out there, get your gold, get your silver in hand. I think there is going to be certain currencies that are going to revalue. In my humble opinion, this is for entertainment purposes only. I do feel like certain currencies are going to revalue. You guys take a look at that. The original Mark Z. You give you all the information on that. Now that we're on a different network, I don't want to get you shut down, Rob. I love you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And now we're sharing bandwidth. I've been on cooldown since 2012. Love you. I'm used to this. But yeah. Gold, silver, certain foreign currencies, agro checks, bonds, and then pay attention to obviously certain cryptos that are ISO 222 compliant. Okay, pay attention to those. Some examples of those are XRP, XLM, XDC, Algorand. I like XRP, XLM, XDC. Those are three. If you don't have any crypto, I'd get those to start. And obviously, steer clear. Listen, I don't know what the deal with this Bitcoin and Ethereum thing is. I get it, but Ethereum is basically Chase Bank. That's why they think it's going to be so successful. And Chase Bank bought a shit ton of silver over the last 5 years, like Chase, like whatever bank itself. So I don't think Ethereum is going anywhere, and I don't think Bitcoin obviously is going anywhere. But there's a level of sovereignty in how we do business with one another and trade globally with one another. And I think that XRP is great at validating and solidifying that for global trade and for bank-to-bank transfers. So that's all, in my humble opinion, what I would do. or what I would
Yeah,
be thinking about, right?
I know a lot of people who are telling me to invest in XRP, but like I was wondering, like I've messed around with Bitcoin before, like on the internet, like for different reasons, but like, and I used to have a Coinbase account. Like, is that how you buy XRP, or is there a certain way to get it, or like?
Yeah. So Coinbase.com or Uphold. Okay. .com, Uphold. If you're international, Uphold. If you're in the States, Coinbase. Just for all you guys out there that are going to be transferring large amounts of XRP into XRPL or into a currency, let's just say if you want to buy something, just remember Coinbase's transaction fees are far less than Uphold. Do not transfer. I think Uphold's transaction fees are insane. I don't know if they're based out of England, but if you guys want to cash out some XRP, go do it through Coinbase. It's much cheaper. Yeah, Coinbase, man. XRP, XLM, XDC. Those are kind of like the main ones for me. I mean, listen, there's tons of crypto. I have a big portfolio, but my thing is like there's only certain cryptos that I'm purchasing and putting in a cold wallet, right? Everything else is like a cold wallet is like you could have, I know Cosmic Origins is on this. Go ahead and, Jace, go ahead and put some different cold wallets in the comments. Yeah. I like the Ledger Stacks. STAYX, Ledger Stacks. If you guys have your stuff on those old nanos, transfer them off, please. There's also some cool, like I said, I like Ledger Stacks. There's a bunch of really good ones. I know that he's like, yo, click on them. Yo, cold wallet brands, Decent, Ledger, Trezor. So click that. Yo, click a little beneath it. Those are the three. Click on it. Right there, okay, it's on the bottom. Here. Decent, Ledger, Trezor. Those are the three I would recommend. I have Ledger.
It's slow for some reason, but
you can go and buy it from their personal website, and you just go on Coinbase. You open up the cold wallet, right? And then he goes receiving address. Say it was for XRP. You copy the receiving address. Go over to Coinbase. Send. Where do you want to send it to? Your receiving address from your cold wallet. Transfer. For everyone out there who's never done this before, please do a test and just send 1 or 2 XRP before. I know people that like did a test and they just sent like all of it at once. I'm like, no. Send a test send 1 XRP over to your cold wallet. When it arrives, you go, okay, everything's working. Then you can send more. Okay. Uphold's going to ask you questions if you transfer more than $5,000 to $10,000 worth of stuff. They start asking questions. They go, is this your cold wallet? By the way, it's all for security. So I don't know. I think that we're done with the fiat system. I've heard some weird things that over certain presidential campaigns, not Mr. T, but before that, apparently someone handed out like 6 $100 bill printing presses. They've been printing $100 bills in other countries. So whatever this fake fiat shit is, they got to shut it down. Because for all of us that are actually playing by the rules, working hard, doing our best to create a better life for one another, there's people just printing money out of thin air that are complete POSs, and it needs to be stopped. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's actually a violation of our free will because we're participating in it. And the issue is that there's just so many things you can do outside the system. And I know that's changing very rapidly, but I'm also here to fight for all you guys in your own lives. And for some of these council meetings upstairs, I speak on your behalf. And I'm always constantly saying like, hey, man, my friends and family, they're brainwashed. They get, I don't even know if you want to put the number of how many immunizations you need for a newborn kid being born right now. It's absolutely crazy. It's like 79 inoculations or something. It's like, why don't you they're literally just trying to whack you. I don't know. People that are having kids now or are about to have a kid, you need to really pay attention to that shit and do not let them put anything in your kid. Yeah. Like, I don't know what this is, but, God hears us and God sees us. So I know that none of these beings that are doing this mischievous behavior, none of them are graduating. I've seen the dimension they're going to be sent to, not one of them. No. You can't have all of that and manage all that energy and not give to others and graduate to 5D. So if you're 80% service to self, you're not graduating. That's not how this game works. So they can come back and do it again. I know many of us, give me a thumbs up if this is the last time you're going to be in 3D on Earth because you're staring at his face right now. Hey, It's been nice. I love you. Save it for the Akashic, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last time you're compressing me into a 6'1" popsicle suit. I love my body, but this is maximum compression. I'm not going any smaller than this. This is for the, and why we get so frustrated down here is this as well. A lot of us are old souls that have already graduated or gone through a 5D ascension, maybe on another planet, maybe somewhere else in the cosmos. We incarnated as a past graduating class to help sophomores or juniors in high school go through their first ascension here on Earth. So a lot of people need to not get it twisted. Some of us our souls are very, very old. And we've seen many, many things not from this planet. Okay. My memories, 80% of the stuff I think about at night doesn't even happen on Earth. It's like I'm processing stuff from off world. Right. So what I'm just trying to say is we're trying to help the younger graduating class graduate. We're trying to make this place more graceful and stable. We're trying to shine our light and transmute some of this negativity that's been left over for quite some time and do that with the highest intent. And I think if you stay in your heart and just make it that simple for yourself, we're old souls who reincarnated to help a younger class graduate and make it easier on them and kind of show them the ropes and obviously kind of guide them so they don't get tricked as easy, right? And just trust, these narratives and these 3-letter agencies. I think we're all going to get along that much better. I don't care what language you speak. I don't care what culture you come from. I don't care how much melanin is in your skin pigment. What I care about is your heart and your energy. And everyone deserves to live in freedom, peace, and sovereignty on this planet. And like I said, that's just how I roll. That's what Team Light's all about. And when you start actually really stepping into the light, you realize that there's no place to hide. You're either about it, or you just talk about it. Be about it. I really want peace, sovereignty, and love on this planet. And whatever's slowing us down, I want it removed. And I know that our higher selves feel exactly the same way. I think it's time for some of these experiments and letting lower dimensional beings, drive the ship. I think that's time for that experiment to end. I think it's time for some of us angelic souls to step in and, balance this equation and really, right this ship so we can move in a straight line again. No more this polarization. It's so much energy wasted. Just keep it in a straight line. Keep it up at a 45-degree angle. And for all my fellow Christos, family out there, I love you. And I feel the same way you do. That's all I'm trying to say. So I feel the same way you do. And I just, we're waiting for this change of the guard, Rob. That's really what this is. This is the change of the guard, and that's what I feel is going to go down, especially in the next 3 years. There'll be a change of the guard. So.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to talk to you about. The last thing was the title of the show is kind of the Great Transition in the Blood Moon Eclipse. And I've noticed that the energies have been a little bit chaotic lately. You said something really amazing. You said some of us are waking up in a war zone, and some of us are waking up and it's just kind of normal. Is that kind of on par with the way these energies are, or what?
Yeah, so I think everyone's feeling the same energies, right? We're all empathic. We're all angelic. Let's just say, like I said, everyone's awesome. Everything is awesome. But here's the thing. If we're all feeling the same energies, and dude, it was rough 2 nights ago. Oh my God. And the day before that, I was just like, what is this anxiety I'm feeling, right? But here's the thing. I still get to wake up in a beautiful area, right? Based upon my choices, right? But here's what I'm trying to say. We're all feeling the same energy, but when we wake up in the morning, we also have to deal with our environment. Some of you guys are feeling the same way I'm feeling and waking up downtown in a big city and there's people fighting, 13 floors down on the street over some crazy stuff. So it's a crazy environment. Some people are feeling the same energies and waking up in a war zone. So what I'm trying to say is we're all feeling the same energies. It's just that your environment is the extra load that you're actually having to deal with when you wake up or when you have to interact in your environment. So that's what I'm trying to say. We all feel the same. We all know it's oh my God, can we wrap this up? Or why is this still taking place? We all feel the same way. So we just want peace on this planet. So
yeah. And what do you see coming with the blood moon eclipse? Do you think it'll usher in more energy, or it will be?
I wish it wasn't in Pisces. I'm a Pisces, damn it. It's like, I was like, what is this? Sometimes you miss, with these blood moons, sometimes it's like Sagittarius. I'm like, yes. Or sometimes it's like Taurus. I'm like, yeah, buddy. Or Scorpio. When it's in your sign, you're like, yeah, this is going to be, because it's going to affect you more, is what I'm trying to say. For all you astrologers out there, I know you're laughing. Rob's like, huh? No, when it affects your sign, it's like we got blood moon eclipse and Pisces on the Dead Sea Scroll. Yeah, I'm gonna feel it. I already feel it coming. Okay, what it is, as you go out through, as you grow throughout life, there's different sequences, right? Different solar eclipses, lunar eclipses. They're basically segments of time. What I'm trying to say is that this solar moon is not going to affect me as maybe one that happened 10 years ago. Why? Because I've cleared a lot of stuff. I've purged a lot of stuff. I'm a different person, right? So what I'm trying to say is every single time you go through a sequence, you're supposed to be more elevated and do better. What do I think is going to happen? A lot of people are going to purge. And I think a lot of people are going to purge. And this is what I give everyone a heads up on. Don't be at a party at someone's house during a full moon blood eclipse if you have yourself already haven't healed yourself, or take that time to heal yourself, work on yourself. If you're very super empathic, hey, put some cool 80s music on, light some sage, light some dragon's blood, dance in your house, have a laser party. Just what I'm trying to say is be very careful who you're around on this blood moon eclipse. Why? Lunar eclipse is because everyone's going to be purging. Okay, so if everyone's purging around you, like, it's almost like, I'll say it like this. Imagine you go to a party and everyone's hammered and you just don't know which one's going to throw up first on you. You know what I mean? Everyone's dancing. Everyone, it's like, have you guys ever been to Mexico where the guy like blows the whistle? And then he's like, hey, what's up, tequila? Hey, tequila. And you know that a lot of the people that haven't drank before, like, oh, that one's definitely going to throw up, right? So what I'm trying to say is, like, in this blood moon situation, in this tequila dance, just don't be around a bunch of people that are going to purge. That's all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know why it's so funny. Blow the whistle, whoop, whoop, and it's like tequila. It's the shittiest tequila they give you too, isn't it? Like, oh my God. You only do it in your early 20s. And you're older, you're like, nah, I'm okay. How many people have put their mouth on that? Like, I don't want your $2 tequila. Get out of here. Damn it. So yeah, just be careful who you guys are around. Work on your stuff. It should be no big deal. If you're a Pisces, try to get in water. It helps transmute it. That's my what I'm gonna do. Yeah,
dude, I just got to say, like, I love your attitude, man. Every time I interview you, you give me this reinvigoration for the way we should be living. You know what I mean? Like, I love the way your outlook and your attitude is on life. Like, it's a lot, because some people come on, oh, my light went out, but some people come on and they can be so dark. You know what I mean? And I realize we're in dark times, but I also realize we're in times of hope as well. And we're in times of change, and I think we can manifest our reality, and we can really live we can make this a golden age. It just depends on,
what I like to say is that the game doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. Okay. So if that's for everyone out there, a lot of people that just woke up, they may be losing their 3D job. Maybe they're in a divorce. Maybe they're having to move houses. Maybe it's like a whole situation. It's all, it's Jerry Springer on steroids. Okay, fine. That's a stage. It's Jerry Springer on steroids. That's a stage in the waking up. Welcome to the show. But 5 years later, 10 years later, 15, I'm 15 years later, right? You've just seen it happen before. You're more stable now. Things don't trigger you as much. And you realize that, especially in this unity consciousness, I am you, you are me. And I also realize that you kind of let go of the controls and you kind of let the universe, like for me being a messenger, when my higher selves want to speak, I let them rip, dude. All I tell the people is like, I can't lie. If you ask me a question and it comes through my face, like I can't stop what's coming through. So that's people come to my house and they ask me a question. I'm like, hey, I'll stop you right there. Do not ask me a question you don't know the answer to, because I don't have a filter. It's coming right through. A lot of us that are, have that divine spark, we're not allowed to lie, dude. And I say that casually. I'm not. Like, my guides are on me like white on rice. It has nothing to do with the person I'm talking to. It's my own higher selves, their respect, and the fact that my elders are braided into this suit, which are very, very old. It's like trying to convince your 200 or 500-year-old grandpa, who's, Grandpa, can you lie for me on my school exam? And he's like, no, boy, you should have studied. You know what I mean? Like it's a different version of you. Okay. It's just, and listen, I wasn't always like that, man. It's just, I'm getting to this place where, it's not one shadow integration. It's like 7. People are like, I've come through my first shadow integration. I'm like, I remember my first beer. Buckle up, Buttercup. There's about 5 or 6 more coming after that one. It's not just one of anything. Oh, I remember, my first twin flame, flame still burning. No, I'm making jokes. I'm just trying to say that I guess it's just the experiences you go through make you stronger. So it's the same test. You just individually get stronger. Everyone in the comments right now is strong. Okay. You'd be surprised how many people, if not all of them in the comments, already exited the matrix. This isn't a game. I know my friends and family's names up here. These are some of the strongest beings on the planet. So, and obviously, mixing Rob with your people, I love you. It was an absolute pleasure. I'm just trying to say there's people that are far beyond awakened watching my face right now. There are people that are full-blown operators that are waiting for contact and have been in contact for maybe 8, 10, 15 years, energetically and dimensionally, are not completely tuned in on what's going on. So knowing all of that, I can still say, man, spend time with your inner child. You got to hang out with your inner child, ladies and gentlemen. You got to know what that inner child is. My dude's about 9 years old. He's blonde. He likes playing video games and watching anime. He likes working out and surfing with sea turtles. He doesn't like any of this shit he has to do in this suit. He doesn't like any of these weirdos that do weird things on this planet. Where he comes from is like a sky of gold. He doesn't resonate with this level of consciousness. He doesn't know why people hurt one another, and he doesn't know why we all can't get along and remember who we are. So you carry that around in your chest every single day, and that version's always there. And by the way, one of your strongest versions, by the way, because that is the version of source that walks you through those golden gates when you exit this suit, when you exit this body. It's not some weird Anunnaki Arcturian. It is your inner child, which has the access code to the gates of heaven, which is instant transmission to the 5th dimension. So I learned that a long time ago. And ain't my 8D Anunnaki walking me into heaven. I'm going to give you a heads up on that. Absolutely not. So for all you guys out there working on your inner child, remember how important it is, and spend time with yourself and be able to calm your mind, ground, get in the water, go for a hike, get those heavy metals. I'm going to do a foot detox right now when I'm done with this. They're going to get the heavy metals out of your body. I have an ionic foot bath. I'm going to do it right after this interview. So, and plus too, depending on your foot bath, I replace the iron that comes out. If you guys don't know how it works, but it attracts iron and a bunch of different things out of your feet when you do the foot bath. But I always replace it with clean amino iron, as the metal's coming out. And I also replace it with colloidal silver. So I have iron and poo-poo coming out of my feet. I've got colloidal silver going in my mouth. So just think about that when you guys are detoxing, if you guys have a foot bath. But no, man, just everyone love on each other. But hey, if it's too much interacting with the public, don't. I don't know. Watch this video over and over and over again. Put on some movies from the 80s or 90s that you enjoy. Close the shades and windows. Put some laser lights on. Do a little 80s dance party with you and some homegirls or a couple of your homies. Try not to get inebriated, right? And just clear it and purge. And if you don't want to be around people, then don't. That's what I would say for this blood moon. Right? I mean, that's my honest opinion. I've been around people when they're purging, not a fan. It's like, and this is what it's like for me. Imagine you go into a house and everyone just loaded on shrooms and you're not.
Wow.
That's what it feels like for me. Like, I swear to God, it feels like everyone's like up tripping face and I'm like sober. And I'm just seeing like weird, awkward things go on. You know what I mean? Like, whoa, that person has their shirt off in one sandal. Where? The other guy's running through it's great time, mind you, if you're on shrooms, right? Which I'm not saying it. But I'm trying to say is that it's the same thing energetically for me. I see a lot of people going through a lot of pain and going through different things. And I have love for them and compassion for them because I've also gone through it, dude. That's the whole thing about it. I've gone through that plus more, gnarly stuff, right? So I think that's why some of us, it's so easy to help people because even the stuff that some people are going through, we also have similar tales and stories. But then there's also some of us that went through even more hardcore things, right? So, it just depends. But I know that we're in this together. I know that we're all being viewed right now. And I know that every single plank second I'm sitting here on this camera, it's being recorded in the Akashic records, and every single one of our higher selves and aspects will have access to this data between me and you and for the future generations. So I'm hip to that. It took me a long time to realize it, to be conscious enough of it. So I just think with everyone out there, please act your age and just remember the angelic royalty, or, star seed heritage, or, whatever, wherever you herald from in this galaxy. Just remember that your family is always with you. Your ancestors are always with you, and the universe is with you. And the entire universe wants this planet to shift. It wants everyone to be successful. The trick was thinking that, to convince the population that they didn't. That was the controlling factions. The trick was to convince everyone to manifest doom and gloom so they can remain in control. Those days are coming to an end. So.
Wow. I love this, man. This was amazing. Well, dude, thank you so much. I honestly enjoy every time you come on, man. It really is an amazing. And congratulations on all your success. I saw your channels ticking off. I saw you have like 80,000 subscribers, man.
Yeah, keep it going.
They took my channel down, so I'm kind of rebuilding. But
Hey, man, here's the thing. That's why I did this interview with you, bro. You got a beautiful heart, and you're talking about subjects that a lot of people don't, some people are comfortable with, or some people have never heard about. But here's the truth. It's all of us working together to create that team. And, that's how I feel about Team Light. It's everyone's supposed to be different. Everyone's supposed to be, an expert in their own field or their own niche. It's not that we're all the same. Is that when you call us all together, good luck trying to trick us. That's all I'm trying to say. For all those beings out there, you have no idea who my friends are, who's in this group right here. Good luck, Chuck. But our friends are so on it. Like, you think, no one's pulling wool over our eyes. So with that, brother, I appreciate you guys. Come out and check out the Bridge Expo. Check out teamlightstore.com. You guys can see that. All the tickets are there. Use the coupon codes. And there's also a Telegram group. When you guys purchase your tickets, you'll get emailed the group to the Telegram. Once you guys are in that group, you can figure out ride sharing, or if you want to split a hotel room with someone or whatever that is. There's a group of people out there. And my sister, Barbara Hudak, and Lisa Harrington, they're going to be managing that. So as we get closer, we're about a month and a week out. So make sure now would be the time to do that before the hotel sells out.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, I'm hoping to be there, and dude, this was amazing. And thank you everybody for tuning in today. And and until next time, everyone, and have a good night, guys.
Appreciate you guys. Peace.
All right. Later, guys. Oh wait.